I am an American soldier. I proudly serve my country in a noble cause. I am prepared to give my life to keep our nation free. I will keep myself fit to perform my duty and can be trusted to do my best. Other soldiers can depend on me, and I will follow my leaders faithfully. In battle, I will never falter. Brave soldiers of the past would be proud of me. I am an American soldier.
An American soldier. It's more than just words. It's a feeling, a sense of accomplishment. You know that now you belong to a fraternity of man, the soldier. You are now a proud professional, and unless you have experienced the feeling that comes with the completion of recruit training, you can't relate. Until you have experienced the feeling of pride as you cross that stage at graduation, well, it's hard to explain. This film is dedicated to the men, the graduates of Fort Sill, every drill sergeant, every non-commissioned officer, and every officer. You are all truly proud professionals, the kings of battle. Other brave soldiers have walked here before. This fort is steeped in history and tradition, from the horse soldier to men readying for battle in foreign countries. It was here that Battery C, 6th U.S. Field Artillery, trained to fire that first salvo in World War I. The date was October 23rd, 1917. This half section is a type of weapon that was used to fight our enemies during that war. It is now stored and maintained here at Fort Sill with great pride. In this Apache cemetery lie the remains of many a brave warrior who fell before the might of the great American horse soldier. Geronimo. His silent presence here represents part of Fort Sill's long and prestigious history. It was in this guardhouse that Geronimo was held prisoner. During his captivity, he walked his cell so much that he wore a deep circular trench into the floor. Sherman House. While visiting Fort Sill in 1871, General Sherman almost met his maker on the front porch of this house. He was almost the victim of a Kiowa Indian raid. Today, our commanding general resides here. This museum is open daily to the public. It originally had higher walls and housed the livestock that our Indian friends from time to time borrowed. And these are some of the authentic pieces used in those days. Everywhere you look and walk, history. Fort Sill has a varied topography which makes for ideal combat training. It has served well down through the years. It continues to serve today. Many a recruit has swooped across the same land, pushed tirelessly through the same streams, endured the same merciless heat in the summer and cold in the winter. Again, a sense of belonging. We can feel the brush of our predecessors' wings, the wings of eagles.
My first feeling of leaving home was landing in Lawton, Oklahoma, the home of Fort Sill. We were met by a sergeant who gave us a fast orientation. We were lined up against the wall where he explained what we might expect once we arrived at the base. Then he checked our tickets, meal vouchers, and other paperwork we had brought with us. I guess he wanted to make sure we were in the right place. Then he marched us Army-style to a line where we waited for the bus that would carry us to Fort Sill. The first sensation that I was really here came when I heard those first Army orders. All right, form a single line behind the right-hand door. There will be no smoking, drinking, or eating on the bus. Standing there with ticket in hand, we began to wonder, what have I done? Before we could answer the question, we were unloading off the bus. This was it. When we passed under that sign, it was like entering another world. No turning back.
When my daddy was 96, she did me just for kicks.
Evening, gentlemen. I'm Staff Sergeant Nord. I'll be your in-processing NCO this evening. While you are here this evening, you listen to everything I'm telling you. First of all, my name is Staff Sergeant Nord. If I have a question for you, you have a question of me, you address me as Sergeant or Sergeant Nord. If I have a question for the whole group, I plan to hear the whole group stating yes, Sergeant, or no, Sergeant. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
First thing, the cards in front of you, as I have in my hand here, turn them over to the side with all the writing on there.
For the next 3 days, we were looked over and looked through. First, there were the shots, then blood tests. This is an eye examination. Pretty impressive equipment. Next was full mouth x-rays. This machine looks like it was designed by an alien. And between the machine and the technicians, we moved through pretty quick. That swirling red and white pole has a meaning that is recognized worldwide. You guessed it, we were about to get a new style. I think they call it a close crop. Well, they say we're all brothers under the skin. Now we look it. Come on, it's only $2.10 and it'll grow fast. The moment I had waited for. New clothes. We were measured and outfitted completely in the time it would take your girl to buy one dress. We got shoes, socks, undergarments, fatigues, hats, everything we needed that might be needed for hard work. All of our testing completed and paperwork done, we were ready to meet our drill sergeant, the one we would live with for the rest of the cycle.
5,
Walk, right, just walk.
6, 7, 8.
For the next several weeks, I would look at this hat with pride, apprehension, sometimes a little fear, but always with a feeling that the man who wears this hat could pull us through anything, and alive. PT, one of my favorites. Chance to get out in that great Oklahoma air and hone that body into a precision fighting machine. I love it. Jumping jacks, push-ups, a lot of sit-ups. The best part is we didn't have to pay a membership fee. Thank goodness there's no beautiful girls in tight leotards to distract our attention. Our drill sergeant saw to that. Now here's a bunch of guys that have done this before. Then there's us. Hey, come on, we're just starting. We'll get better. Everything in the Army is done to cadence, and you can see why. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. In fact, we're looking so good they gave us weapons to do it with.
Alpha 1! Alpha 1! Alpha 1! Alpha 1!
In this class, a man can learn to save a life. That life can be his own. This is real serious stuff, so we all pay real close attention. Now, there are many things to learn, including how to dress a wound to CPR. Today we're discussing what to do to prevent a wounded man from going into shock. The first step is to lay him flat on his back and elevate his feet above the level of his chest. Second step is to loosen all restrictive clothing. Sometimes, well, it takes a little while to catch on. Hey, someone got a right answer. This is called the combat conditioning course. Motivation is the key word here. Some guys fly through it and others have to work a little harder. Muscles strain, teeth clench, sometimes a leap, sometimes an inch. But all the time your drill sergeant is there urging you on. That's what makes it all possible. Basic rifle marksmanship. This is one of the most important phases of our training. It is here that we are coached on the uses of the M16, from how to hold it to how to fire it. We don't get to use live ammo here. We just learn the basic firing positions.
All right, fire, stand up. Stand up, fire. Stand up. Fire to a right face. To a right face. Right face. With both hands, pick up your weapon. Both hands on the weapon. To the ready position.
The red flag. This means that live ammo is being used. Everyone cautiously approaches his firing position, closely monitored by a drill sergeant. Nothing is left to chance. The sergeant in the tower will tell us when to fire. Now is the time to remember everything we've been taught.
Pick up your weapon, talk yourself into a good firing position. Lock and load your 20-round magazine. Fire!
A soldier's best friend is his weapon. There's nothing like a clean friend. Throughout Fort Sill, there is evidence of the old and the new. This is a new dining facility, and it's packed with hungry men. The old dining facilities have the same group of hungry guys. On one side of the fort, you can find new and modern buildings that house recruits. Here, in this building, these men are preparing for an inspection. There are beds to be made, shoes to be shined, and finally, floors to be waxed. On the other side, you can still feel the nostalgia of the original barracks that date back to World War II. Inside this particular barracks, there's a full-scale inspection in progress. During this inspection, the captain will scrutinize every piece of a recruit's equipment and clothing to see if it is being cared for properly. Clothing must be hung a particular way. Drawers must be neat and orderly and organized. Occasionally, an unexpected question will be asked.
Sir, first order is, I'll guard within the limits of my post and quit my post only when properly relieved, sir.
It was time for the confidence course. Believe me, when you get through with some of these obstacles, you have confidence you never knew existed.
Upon
on your left and down on your right. Delta battery is out of sight. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Mama, mama, can't you see what this army is doing to me? Set me down in a barber's chair, cut away my long, long hair. I used to wear my faded jeans, now I'm wearing army green. I used to drive a Cadillac, now I'm marching with an Alice pack. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Standing tall and looking good, down to in Hollywood. Dressed right and covered down, 40 inches all around. Date my high school queen, now I'm dating an M16. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Squat down inside the FortSill. Place your weapon against the wall. Secure your grenade. You're going to have to fire your weapon. Simulate firing your weapon. Bang, 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 bang. Look down to your grenade. Look down to your grenade. Rock back. Prepare to go. Go. Down up with grenade. Grenade.
I'm glad the Army gives complete and careful instruction on everything before we get hands-on experience, because this is the one I'm concerned about. Hand grenades. First, we stand in a cement bunker and look through thick bulletproof glass so that we can get the effect. Then we were moved into the foxhole and given 2 live grenades to throw. Thank God for my drill sergeant. I wouldn't want to be there alone. Fort Sill is a widely diversified training facility. They train various MOSs, which includes 13 Bravo, 15 Deltas, 15 Echoes, 13 Echoes, 13 Foxtrots, and 13 Mikes. Advanced individual training artillery. Some of us wind up here. This is the M102. Big bang for a little guy. The M198. The bangs seem to get louder. This is called the M109 self-propelled howitzer. The men behind the firing line are Echo Fire Direction Center, and they are guided by the fire support specialists or forward observers. Here it is in action. And last but not least is the papa of them all, the M110, affectionately referred to as the 8-incher, a real big bang. This is the MLRS, Multiple Launch Rocket System, also known as the Soldier's System. This is a two-man operation and is capable of launching 12 missiles by a highly sophisticated computer lock-on system. What you're looking at is the Lance missile. This power-packed unit is manned by 8 specialists, each with a clear-cut job. Within moments, this missile is ready to fire. Here we see the Pershing missile. The necessary hours needed to operate the Pershing are spent here. It takes many hours of intensive training on mock launching panels and computers to assimilate the details involved. Here, a crew learns the inner workings of the Pershing. This is where we are tested from the day one basics of our common skills to our particular MOS, which includes either artillery or missiles. We must all pass the end of the cycle test to graduate from basic training. This test is what it's all about, making good soldiers.
We're cooking now. Change hands. All the whites covered the very first one. Yep. Half and half on the side on the border.
You got the braid around, what's the braid around? You got your braid around, hold it in place. Then you switch hands, make it like that. You got your hand up, you hold it 10.
Sit down. Place it on top.
No. Full time. All the way there you go.
Okay, you got that. Okay. You show that it's even.
Everybody freeze in the position you're at. They ask you the 4 things, and the coach has completely checked out all your material. You take the 3 bandoliers and lay them one on top of each other. Any problem with that? No, Sergeant. Rolled up dress and stick. Leave one tail out, bring the others to the inside of the bandoliers. And then what are you going to do? Once you've got them tight, place them underneath the chair. There's where, place them on the chair underneath the table.
That's why you stick with him, though.
Yeah, that's going to go on your tape.
We're trying to show your name. Why? Take this shit off. Same thing that you can write. I hurt his leg. You got one team this year, right? They hurt his leg, did you? Want to wrap this around there a couple times. Somebody told you to wrap around it a couple times, not one time. Take loose your sergeant. Why you on the rest of the not having enough? You got enough more wax on the bed. I want to make it dress.
Now, tourniquet can't go on the knee joint, right? So you're going to have to back up this time.
I know you come up on bed there. But it sounds very country.
Get them all? Did you get them? Ready? Move 1001, 1002.
Find your window first. Find your window first.
Ready?
Pull it into your chest.
Ready? He's got to count.
Control left side of the wall.
Move in. You knock me off of my feet, baby.
Come on, Hewitt. Get your ass moving forward. Lay down on the ground. Ready, please? Come on now, Hito.
$1,001, 1002.
Finish? What, you guys finished? You finished, country?
Yes, sir, sir.
Pull stuff up and
Unmute, Private, unmute.
Stop watching.
You've been throwing up here, Private. Rotate your
You just rotated out of this head.
What, are you lost now?
You non-fine side to that.
All right, listen up. You gonna say grenade. You didn't do that. You say grenade, you 3,000. You say 3,000, you roll over, you say heat short,
Hard clear. Right? When you come here, you gonna take that hand and rock back hard well, then you gonna throw. Don't let come out here and there.
All right, boom, grenade went off.
Hey, you're a left-handed fine. You are the weapon. You right-handed.
Yes,
That's why, man. Get up, put your hand up, and go up. Okay, Robin? God dang. All right, ready? 79. Exactly. Man on the right, man, throw,
Long or hit.
Grenade went off now. Grenade went off. What you gonna do?
Get out. Here, Private. Rotate your body back around. Keep your body.
All right, point 10 through 12. The man on the right.
Throw him.
Those grenades.
A little bit long.
Execute.
Yes, sir.
Throw it.
I'm watching.
Throw that dummy grenade.
Bumpers 2 and 3. Man on the right. You'll throw your 2 grenade.
Peep. You gotta peep. Peep at your target. Knock it out. On the grenade.
Nobody else.
Now watch it to a hit. There, get out.
1,002.
Press hard ball.
Boom. The grenade went off. The grenade went off. The grenade went off. Red, what kind of throw you do? Fire side to the bunker, son. Now look at your target. I mean, target. Now get down. Put it in your chest. Put it in your chest. Hold it.
1,001, 1,002, 1,003.
Down now. All right, hit.
Don't do that shit, Private.
It's a hit. It's a hit. Get your hand on. Come on, you slow, man. Enemy can just jump out that hole and get you.
Plain simple.
I was good hit there, Whit. Point 10, 11, 12, man on the right. Execute. Throw it.
Got down, he's going to head around and want to go on. Probably keep your head behind cover.
Bring it to your chest. Keep it to your chest.
Throw it.
Grenade! Man on the left.
Throw it. That's the best throw there.
Good work.
Grenade went off. Grenade went off. But Red, you can't third work. Doodle, son. Look at both those grenades right
Man on the
there.
left. Take action.
That's all you're doing. Bringing that body.
I won't get my name in that. Oh, bullshit. Get your ass on that kid. Can I try a little more time, sir?
Grip those balls like you gripped your dick.
You regret that last night, Miss Lammy. ain't how you do it.
Come on, flip those balls like you need to fry chicken. Yeah. Choke that chicken. Bill fell off.
No, you fell off. Get on back over here.
Oh shit, they roll. Grandpa.
Keep going, hero. Get up there. Come on. Come on, Norm. Get on, Norm. Yeah. Come on, Norm.
Wow, you're a daddy.
Get on up there, Norm.
Come on, Norm.
Send one up.
He's going out.
Okay, where do y'all go up?
Go, baby.
Hold the ladder, Cannon. Hold that foot.
Grab his feet. There you go.
Stand straight up. Don't sit on your leg.
Okay, now y'all grab the rail.
Sarah, get your ass up.
Sit down, get down.
Get up here, Sarah.
Yeah, whenever y'all pull him up.
Hey, Steve. Scared?
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Hold the motherfucker. Good. Got him. Oh, shit.
Now let's shot.
Who shot?
Left or out. Frank.
Come on, the hair's up here, goddammit.
Send theirs up. Yeah, send theirs up. Come on, guys, let's go.
Miller, jump up here.
Straight by the belt.
Where's your damn belt?
Oh, God, I smell a skunk.
Grab airs.
And they need another one up there.
Come on,
Stay one up. Stay one up.
Come on, Aaron.
No, leave guys there.
Watch, come on, watch.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No.
Hey, all the skunks that were here.
Come on, watch. Wait a minute.
Hold on, come on, stay, damn it.
Go, Sill. Get your body, Smith. You gotta catch
Hold on.
You go in between them.
Over it under. That motherfucker.
The following personnel are designated as graduates of Basic Training Class 34-85. PLC Travis A. Ashmore, Fort Carson, Colorado. PLC Michael S. Babin, Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Private Alan R. Bernard, Ladego, Indiana. And last but not least is Private Stephen A. Works. Private Works has a cast on his leg and he's standing in the rear of the building. Please join me in giving a round of applause for these proud soldiers.
At last, graduation. Only those who had the ability, desire, and determination to become a soldier have graduated today. They have now joined the ranks of the proud professionals, an accomplishment of which they can be justly proud. This success will inspire them to overcome the challenges and demands which will face them in the future. They have worked hard, and the concept of being a recruit belongs only to memory. But in the U.S. Army, those memories are enough to sustain the spirit for a lifetime. As they say, be all you can be Army.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Now long that cadence loud and strong. Oh, there we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. Keep rolling, and the army